Tackling writing assignments is a nearly universal problem. The student who jumps right onto every paper as soon as it's assigned and churns out several drafts within a week is a very rare thing. Writing struggles come up in various ways. I'm going to lay out some problems and several techniques that I'd recommend to resolve them. Facing the blank page is probably the most common problem. Many students do the research and then turn to the process of writing as it's a completely separate task. But writing, otherwise known as your thoughts on the page, should begin while you're reading and thinking about what you're reading. You should be generating notes that both synthesize and interpret what you're reading so that you never face a blank page when it comes to the formal writing process. Once you have a set of notes, the actual writing can begin by systematically going through the notes and organizing them, mining them for themes, teasing out a thesis. If you find your notes aren't helping you construct more formally written material, consider sitting with a friend and asking them to transcribe what you say. Recite the prompt or topic and then tell your friend what you're thinking about what you've read, what's important, why it's important, etc. It's also really important to make good use of office hours. You don't need a finished product to go talk to your instructor about what you're working on. Your professor can help you focus on a thesis, get ideas, get excited about the writing, and make you feel less pressured to have something perfect in order to present at the beginning. When we write, we usually have an image or a voice in our heads of what good, crisp, authoritative writing should sound like. And usually that comes from good, crisp, authoritative reading that we've done. Rough drafts are messy and unclear and disorganized and really soggy. Since most people tend to want their work to look and sound crisp, they don't have a picture or an idea of what to emulate in creating a rough draft. But good writing, excellent writing, emerges from rough drafts. It doesn't unfurl whole and dew-kissed like a flower or fern. It evolves from a mass of mud into a lump of clay into a well-honed sculpture. So when you begin your writing, expect it to look like mud, not a flower. If you've started a writing project and you've stalled, it's time to start parsing out the project into smaller pieces. Each of these pieces should be done systematically and they can be done separately, so it's not a huge, overwhelming task. In other words, don't think you have to climb Everest in a day. Aim for base camp. The first base camp is to read each sentence and make sure it's grammatically correct and says what you want it to say. Edit as you go. Base camp 2 is to look at each paragraph and see if all the beautiful words and sentences you've crafted still belong together. Now that your sentences and paragraphs are in good shape, proceed to base camp 3. Look at the overarching structure of the paper. Is there a clear argument? Is it supported? Is there logic? Does it follow a logical trajectory? Does it introduce and conclude the same topic? There is nothing more insulting to a professor than when he or she takes the time to read a paper you have not proofread. Take the time to proofread. Trade with friends. Go to the Hume Writing Center. There are lots of resources.